question is, how do you generate leads for your business online? That's the main thing, of course. The session is how to do it without ads. Now, you can do it with ads, but we have learned over the years that if you cannot write a post or a message in a way that gets somebody who you can actually help with your business or your product, if you can't do that without spending money, like you can't just do it on your profile or on your Facebook page if you have a page, or in a message, then whatever you do with your ads, assuming that's going to be the same kind of copy, the same words, that you've got, you'd just be wasting your money. So we always like free first, not because it's free, but because you can test. And that way your testing doesn't cost you 50 bucks a day or 10 bucks a day or 20. You spend 500 bucks and you get nothing. And then you think, oh, ads don't work. Well, they do. You just don't know how to do it. That's all. It's kind of like, you go to play baseball and you strike out a few times and you can say, oh, baseball doesn't work. Yeah, true. Not for you because you don't know how. So you got to know how before you talk about things not working. The fact is that you just don't know how to do it. So we're going to show you how to do that right here. So a lead, I'm going to give you a definition of a lead here. That's my definition of one. So it's somebody that you can talk to. Yes, actually talk to them. Most people, unless they're buying commodities or unless you're buying from like Amazon, they want to talk to you because whatever you're marketing is different. It's going to be custom. That's why we call it direct sales, direct marketing, because you're doing something directly to people that they could not really get elsewhere. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a business, And that's what's wrong with really a lot of people in affiliate marketing and network marketing. People who don't, I'm going to show you here, but if you don't have something besides just your product or your service, and you do the same thing everybody does in your business, your 200,000 other distributors and who knows who else, you're just a commodity. And commodities, they go for the lowest price. And if your competition, your idea of competing and getting your business going is lowest price, you're really cooked. As it is, network marketers make very little money on any products or services. You spend something, people pay $100 and you end up with $5 or $10. That's not a lot. You don't have a lot of room. And besides, for your company, the prices are what they are. So to get back to the front, I'm just getting ahead of myself. A lead, somebody to talk to that because you're going to talk to them about your business and or your product or service. Okay. And then it's going to be about one of these things, right? And then you want somebody. My idea of a worthwhile lead is somebody who has an interest in what you have, right? That's the goal. Do you agree with that? You want somebody who's got some interest in what you have? Let me see here if we are agreed here. Yeah. If you are just talking to like random people, you are going to have a big problem. And here's why. If you talk to random people, that is people who don't know anything about what you've got, right? That means you're going to have to do a lot of talking, as most of you know. And the more you have to talk, the more they are going to feel like they're being sold, because who's doing the talking? Yakety, yakety, you, right? And the more you have to talk, it's about the company. Let me talk about the company. Let me talk about the product and the DNA and the mother's breast milk and the more you're going to feel like you're selling, because you're feeling like you have to talk really fast so they don't hang up or say, look, I gotta go, right? So that's why you want people, not random people. You really want to try to find people who have an interest in what you have. That's what I call a lead, not just some random list, because this is what you're going to be doing. If they don't know anything, you're going to have to talk, and you're going to have to talk fast and a lot. And they're going to feel like they're being sold, and you're going to feel like you're selling. And that's really not a very good feeling. Does that make sense? Okay, so without new leads coming into your business every day, who might want what you have, your business will probably die. And I know a lot of people in our group are not very active, maybe not active at all. You just buy a monthly product and you don't really have any income, maybe $100 or something, which is very good, by the way. Free money, that money that you've earned once and now it keeps coming in. That's a great kind of money to have. So even if you have $100 a month, it's a wonderful thing because it beats a zero a month. But many people have told me they have nothing at all. They have one guy just said, oh, Kim, I want to come in here and you help me with your program because I got one side that's got $1 million a month going down my left leg. You know how the binaries work. And I don't have anything on my own side. It's like, oh, they, right? So even if you have half of it built for you by other people in a binary, if you can't bring people to the table, You make no income. And if you make no income, you basically have a dead business. Now you can say, well, I can have write-offs. You do whatever you want. If you're in business so you can earn some income, so you can take that trip, you can go first class, you can get your kids to private school, do whatever you feel like doing. A dead business is one that doesn't really have any money coming in. Okay. Basically doesn't exist. Now, here is the best way I know of that top producers in businesses use to bring in leads every single day. This is something I've done for a long time, but I have learned over the years that top producers in any business have learned how to do this thing that I'm going to teach you. Digital businesses, meaning online, you're marketing stuff online on Facebook, email, all that stuff. And even in stores. I mean, the COVID may be here, but there are still stores that are open. And at some point, I suppose, one hopes that things get a little bit back to normal and there will be stores. But now we have online stores. And the approach I'm going to give you is what pretty much the top players use. So you may as well learn how to do it. So what you want are leads that are already kind of half sold so that you don't end up having to do all this crazy talking as fast as possible so you can sell them on what you've got. Okay, so if you want that, this is going to be what you want. You need to be clear about a couple things first here. This is where you need your pencil. Make sure you got your little pencil and your pad. You need to answer 5 questions. Okay, who can you help? And who do you want to help? Okay, that's the first question. Who can you help? And who do you want to help? Number 2, what is the problem that they have that you can really help with and love to help with? Okay. So for example, there are people who are in the doctor business, right? And some people are eye surgeons, other people are heart surgeons, other people are, I don't know, ear, nose, and throat specialists. And they pick a type of problem, a type of area where they have, for some reason, nobody knows where interest comes from. You ever think about that? Like, where did you get interest in this or that or the other? Nobody has a clue. It's not something apparently that you find it, or maybe better, maybe it finds you, you know? But what happens, there's an interest. You go, oh, I'm really interested in that. And so when you have an interest in something, particularly in solving a problem of some kind, you find that you are constantly reading about it, thinking about it, dreaming about it, watching about it, learning about it. And in your free time, that's really what you have going for you. You think about that all the time. So think about that. What is the problem that they have that you can really help with and that you love to help with? That's number 2. You got to know what that is. See? Number 3, what is the result that you can help them get? Okay, so who can you help? Because they're going to have a problem. Remember, business is all about solving problems. And what does that mean? Well, a friend of mine bought a new house and he's hanging pictures. So guess what he needs if he's going to do that himself? He needs to have holes in the wall, right? I guess you drill holes in the wall. So what does he do? He goes and buys a drill. What's the purpose of the drill? Is it to fondle the drill and hold the drill and go, oh my gosh, look at this great drill? No, it's to take the thing for whatever type of holes you're making, depending on, whether you got sheetrock or whatever, wood or whatever. And you use the drill, right? So you got a hole, so you can put whatever it is that you're going to put on the. So the drill is the means to an end. What's the end? A result. What's the result? Well, they want a hole in the wall. That's the end. It's not the drill. It's the hole in the wall. Okay. So what's the result that you can help them get with your thing? Okay. All right. So, and here's the next one. Number 4, what is the path that you're going to take them on? Now, some of you are going to know, well, what do you mean? What's the path? Well, the path is the way there. For example, if you're thinking about, well, I do weight loss, let's say, there are many ways to lose weight. There are many paths to get from big as a barn to slinky minky. And if you were to research on Google, lose weight, for example, ways to lose weight, 10 best ways to lose weight, you'll find different paths to get there. Some people decide they're going to eat completely differently. Some people pick specific types of eating programs like the keto, right? Or the paleo, or they eat only clean food. My nutritionist has a clean food program. You can eat your way back to health, really, by not eating crap food, but finding a way so that you aren't drawn to the crap food. See, that's what I need, because I kind of like some of what you would call crap food. And so now I don't do what I used to because I have, alternatives that I like. So I don't think about the crap food as much, like, fresh baked donuts or things like that, right? So there are paths to get to the end. Okay, just like there are ways to get, and different ways. It's not like one is a plane and one is walking or biking or a car. It's not that paths are faster or slower or better or worse. They're different. You can take appetite suppressants. You can have an operation. You can go to a fat farm. You can do whatever, different ways. And the paths that are available and that people choose depend on their values. You see, it's not best for everyone. Some people want to change what they eat. Other people want to, I don't know, do shakes. Other people want to do a water fast. Other people want to, who knows? You know what they all want to do. So I want you to get it in your head that the path that somebody has to go on to get from a yuck state to a good state, like poverty stricken, to have your own car and maybe even your own apartment, right? If that's your state. There are many ways to get there. You might sell a coding program, how to code, so that you can end up being some kind of an IT hotshot. You might sell a program on how to build homes and get you out of the muck from being poverty stricken, right? By building, I don't know, homemaking empires or cooking shows or become a dancer, all these different things. But for weight loss and all the kinds of things, energy, more income, there are many ways to achieve it. I want to be sure that you understand that whatever you have is a path, one of several, probably 5 or 6, that all people that are looking for the fix of weight loss, income, whatever it is, happen to be looking for and looking at. Okay? So don't think that you're the only one and how come they don't love me. No, they just know, like us, if we go shopping, we probably have 5 options. You look at Amazon, all these things, right? This is the best seller. This is the recommended one. If people who bought this also bought that, and we have a lot of options. And so we choose one. We are also options. I'm an option. I got over it a long time ago. I can only help some people who want the path that I have. I only can offer the path that I know how to do, that has worked for me and the people that go for this path. But other people do other paths. There are a lot of ways to the top. You choose what you resonate with, and they will do the same. So know that. All right. Last item. Here's number 5. What are you adding to the path that's uniquely yours? Uniquely yours. This is very important. This is what distinguishes you. I mean, one problem with network marketers is they're not really, and speaking as one who has done this 6 times over 29 years, as a network marketer, you're really not an entrepreneur. People think, oh yeah, we're entrepreneurs, we're in business for ourselves, but that's not really true. In many ways, you're sort of in business. You have to get your own customers and your own reps and all that. But the fact is that the product is not yours. The service isn't yours. The pay plan isn't yours. And if they don't like you, they can ban you or kick you out or go out of business. And you are suddenly sitting there with what, right? And if the only thing you do is market the same way as your upline tells you, and you're basically all cloning each other, the duplication myth, as I call it, in terms of behaviors, you're a commodity. And in today's world, your worst competition is not only people that are basically robots, just like you in your company, right? But it's Amazon. People can go to Amazon and take any weight loss product description, type it in, and get something that they think is cheaper. And that works for them just as well. Now, we may know that it's not as good, but I grant you everything. Yours is the best. I got that. It's unique. It's breakthrough, Dr. Dingling. I'm all for that. But you see, we're not buying it. We already did buy it. You got to persuade the next person. Somebody else has to buy it. And so they make that decision. And so if you don't have anything that you're adding to the path from their misery to nirvana, you won't have anything that makes you stand out and makes you different and lets somebody choose you versus another rep or Amazon. You see that? If you want to be a real entrepreneur, you have got to have stuff on that path that is uniquely yours and only yours. That's what we've done. I've done that with every single company. I'll show you. I mean, that's what you got to do. If what you're doing now is working, stay the way you are. I'm assuming you're here because it isn't working and you want to get more leads and you're talking to people, all of whom are the wrong ones, or you reach out and it's totally bombs. They block you and that's the end of that, right? Okay, so you have this, who can you help? And that's the same as who do you want to help? And if you really want to go all in on this, if you want to build a really big, significant, impactful business, the question that you will ask as you go on in your life with this, because all businesses is just helping the next person do something that you're really good at, that you really want to do and can become the best at and help people get the results that they want. That's what they're about. And that's what business is about. But there will come a time when you say, I feel called to help these people with this problem. If you ask Elon Musk, okay, right now, what do you think you're called to do? And he would say, find a place to live that's not this earth. And I've chosen Mars, and we're going to do everything we can to get to Mars. That's his thing. It doesn't matter whether you like it or not, or he doesn't care. That's what he feels right now he's called to do. And then, of course, Tesla, right? He's pretty unique and different because he has a few. You ask Steve Jobs, what are you called to do? Well, to create gadgets and tools to help humans who are already creative to do what they do better and faster and in less time, right? And the greats of all areas in business are people who feel called to help a certain kind of person. And when you feel that, I'll tell you, a little story, you may not know this, but I'm a big fan of John D. Rockefeller, the original, and I have read just about everything there is and was, at one point had plans to make a movie about him. So, of course, I got a lot of details. And one of the things that most people don't know is that when he was getting started, he was very efficient. They didn't waste money. They didn't waste a drop of solder. And he was called to talk to, I think it was Cornelius Vanderbilt. And Vanderbilt had interest in most of the railroads. And the reason that Rockefeller was interested in the railroads is because he had to transport his refined oil. And at that time, the only way to do it was the railroads. And so he had set up a meeting to talk to Vanderbilt to say, okay, I want to use your railroads and I'll fill them up enough so that he could get better rates, bulk rates like we all have. And so they scheduled a time to meet. And at that time, they didn't have planes because it was the late 1800s. And he went by a train. And he missed the train. And he thought, okay, well, I guess he wires Vanderbilt and says, okay, I missed the train. I'll have to take the next one. So the next day he went. Well, it turned out that day, that train he was supposed to be on crashed. It went off the rails and a lot of people died. And Rockefeller, who had been a church person his whole life because his mother was very religious, a Christian type religion, and he thought, I have now been called. He believed that he didn't make that train and it saved his life, that God had chosen him, that he was the one to be called to help people get refined oil at good prices, that he could standardize everything and make it available at the lowest possible prices for not only the United States, but the rest of the world. And the power that he got from feeling called, I am the one that God has chosen. And now he wanted to make good on it and said, I want to look good to God. He's going to be proud. Now, most of you probably have no idea about that, but that gave him a power that nobody else had. He didn't have time to get drunk on weekends. He didn't have time to binge on Netflix. Is that going to be the thing that's going to make him look good to God and be the instrument of instruments, right? And so if you can get to the place where what you do, you feel is what you were born to do, when you get there, you will be completely unstoppable. You'll never have to worry about money, except you have to learn to ask for it, which I will show you how to do. Okay? All right, so let me show you this in another form. All right, so who can you help? That's number one. Okay? Number two, with what problem? Okay? That they have. Not that you have, that they have. Now, one way you're going to know that you can help with the problem is that you've had your own before and after with the product or business. So if you were big as a barn and now you're not big as a barn, you know you can help somebody because you got results. So that'll help, okay, with what the problem. But we're talking about them right now, okay? What is the path? Okay, so remember the steps to get there. That's what we're looking for. What's the path that you're taking them on? Now you ought to know. You take these pills, you know, you do this, you do that, okay? The next one is you need to answer the question that they'll have in their mind. How can I do this? How can I do this? Right? And then the last one is the happy nirvana. Whatever that nirvana is that you can help with. Nirvana, Oz, right? What's the Oz? What's your Oz? What's the result when you have it? Great, one down. You know, of course, you're always going to be getting better, but it will be a result, like learning how to get leads. The steps in order to get leads that are juicy for you, you need to do some of this other stuff that I just talked about, okay? Does that make sense? Everybody see that? All right, so now your goals. I've asked in this group a number of times, what are your goals? And people will say, oh, you know, I want 10,000 a month, or oh, I want 20,000 a month, whatever, right? And I say, what have you done so far? Nothing. How long have you had that goal? I don't know, 5 years, but I haven't done anything. Okay. So you have to decide, first of all, if the goals are something that you like talking about, which is totally fine. And you can talk all you want. Just, you know, we both know that if you don't do anything, nothing really much is going to happen. But that's one type of person. And you'll find many people like that. Even your own. Let's say you have a weight program. And you'll find people who say, oh, I really want to lose weight. You say, oh, man, that's just great. I got just the thing. You're going to love it. Okay, well, listen, I got to go. Well, I thought you wanted to lose weight. Well, I got to go now. So, right? So you can't really predict about anybody else. So I'm just saying to you that saying the words that you want to lose weight, you want to make money, you want to play in the big leagues, it doesn't do anything. Now it satisfies your mind because you think, oh man, I'm going to be hot. Yeah, I'm going to be hot. And then you go off and watch a movie. And it's really kind of a human flaw. I think, you know, God should have not done that. Because if you talk enough, you run out of energy, you run out of steam, and you think you've accomplished something, and you haven't done jack. You got no customers, no money, no nothing. You're exactly where you were before, right? So, but that's the way humans are. So be aware of that you're going to have to do more than talk about it if you want it. And that means you got to make room for it. It's like buying new clothes. You got to move stuff out of your closet. You know what I mean? This is the same with time. So one way that I've thought about this to help you think about this, how many people do you want to help? See, because you could say, oh man, I want to make 20 grand a month, 50 grand, 100 grand a month, right? A day, whatever, pick a number. That sounds really good. But if you convert that into how many people do you want to help get these results, right? Like I could say, okay, so how many people do I want to help to really completely reinvent themselves in building their business? Because we have a fairly high ticket program that does that. I mean, I think it's just slightly under 10,000 bucks. It's a complete personal reinvention program for people who have been trying and they can't get themselves to do it, number one, or they do it and they do it wrong and then they give up right away. And they know they need an overhaul of how they see the world and how they think so they can do the right stuff. Those people. So we figure we can help about 30 people a month. So we have a limited program with that because it's a big deal, right? And we have a lot of smaller programs. And so do you. You guys will have little packages. Here's my weight loss package for, I don't know, 100 bucks a month. So you could say, okay, so how many people do I want to help get their weight loss results with what I'm doing? Right? Remember these other things, not just the pills, right? Not just the little family of products, but other things as well. We can talk about that. So that's one way to look at it. How many people do you want to help get results that they want with what you've got? Get that? Or you could say, how much do you want to earn by when? I want to earn, I don't know, say, what is it today? January 21, right? You might say, well, I want to earn, I don't know, say 3,000 a month by June. Let's say 3,000 more than I'm making right now by June. So then you'd have to go back and figure out, okay, how many people does that mean you need to help to earn that? Because if you have a program and it's $200 a month and that company pays you, say, I don't know, pretend $100 a month, you'd need to get 20 people. And if you were helping 20 people and you earned $100 on each person, I think that's $2,000 a month. So you'd be focused on how many people can I help. Now, if your program pays you $10 or $15, you'd have to get more people. But in the network marketing industry, if you have 10 happy customers, there's a very good chance that one or two of them might want to help you get a few more customers in. It's not guaranteed, but it's certainly a possibility. So you can think about it like that. I just want you to know that these are options, okay? So depending on your goal, we have a couple of help options for you, and I'll tell you what they are. Let me just, before I do that, let me just be clear about this. All right, remember this? Who can you help with what problem? Let's say it's weight loss. What is the path? Now, let's say that you have a product, you have a little weight loss package. Let's say you sell some kind of program that has shakes, pretend, okay? So that is one element of their path that your company offers and that you offer. So what you want in addition is, what else does a person really need to do to achieve much better weight and obviously health and energy? They might need to look at what else they eat. They might need to, besides, remember, in most of our cases in the industry of network marketing sells, for the nutritional side, it's supplements. It's not the main thing. A supplement is a supplement. That's what that means. So if you want to help somebody lose weight and you give the expectation that just take these appetite suppressants and that's it, you're going to be in for a world, and so are they, of disappointment, because there's more to it than that. They have to look at what else they're eating. They should be looking at their exercising. They should probably be looking at how they're sleeping, when they're sleeping. There are many things that go into what this unique framework, this path would be, that you can add to the equation. And you can charge for that. And you can have a program of yours that helps people lose weight, where your product from your network marketing company is one of the things that they do. Then you're a real entrepreneur, even if you sell your program for $97, right? Because all of you know that it takes more than just some palitos, appetite suppressants, to lose weight permanently and to restore your health. I mean, why do you think everybody's worried about getting this COVID? Because everybody's health is a disaster. Everybody has some kind of a pre-existing condition, and they're 20 or 25 and they've already got, Amy, right? What do they call that illness where you had too much sugar? It's
diabetes.
Yeah, diabetes. But what do you mean? Who has that already? I mean, I think if anything, this problem, the super duper flu or whatever you want to call it, is a real call to let people know that you got to stop eating crap food. You do. You got to start eating something other than Red Bull. And if you're completely addicted, expect that when you get the flu that's anything more than normal, you're probably going to drop dead. So to me, that's a very good call. So if you have an interest in that, anything that has to do with health, you're going to have to think about and know about and learn about how to eat, when to eat, what not to eat, right? And depending on what time of day it is, water, liquids, clean water, sleeping, how to cook, how not to cook, right? All these things. And if you pick 2 or 3 that are your special things, number one, when you start, you might create a PDF. We're showing people how to create these assets. So when people say, what do? You say, here, check this out. It's a 2-page wonder, or a 2-page thingy. You can read it and see if you love it. That way you don't have to say a thing. And if they love it, you have a place for their email. Start building your email list. That's what we show you how to do, right? So there's nothing to sell. And you demonstrate that you're an advisor, not just a seller of MLM stuff. No. You want to be an advisor, and advisors, people expect to pay advisors, They don't expect to get anything free. And so you need to know more than just your product. But this is what I mean by this. What is the path? What is the unique framework? Okay. Hi there. This is Kim Claver. I'm glad you made it to the end. This is the end of this session. And if you'd like to learn a little bit more about how you can do some of the things that we talked about here, a good place to get started is an ebook called the Kim book, and it's also known as the Orange book. If my product's so great, how come I can't sell it? And it's focused on learning how to figure out who you can actually help with the language included. And I thought maybe I'd start you with something that's a really small purchase that doesn't really make you think too much about whether you want to do it or not. And if this is up your alley and you'd like to learn how to do it, there you are. That's what I have for you. All right, I'll talk to you soon. We have obviously lots of other videos here. So if you're interested in other kinds of things that we can help you with, go ahead and check them out. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. This is Kim Claver, and thanks for coming. Appreciate it. I'm excited to think about being able to help you a little bit. I'll see you on the inside.